We're going to play Fat Fritz 2 at the hobby level. Usually gives me a pretty good game. In fact, it usually beats me.
Pawn c7, c6. Knight g8, f6. Pawn d7, d5. Queen d8, a5. Knight f6, d7. Queen a5, c5. Pawn e7, e6. Knight d7 takes queen c5.
Now I guess we got to play chess.
Knight c5 takes pawn e4.
Okay, that wasn't so good on my part.
Bishop f8, d6. Pawn a7, a6. Rook h8, f8. Pawn d5 takes bishop e4.
Bring that pawn forward.
Pawn e6, e5. Bishop c8, f5. Pawn g7, g6. Bishop d6, b4. Knight b8, d7.
Oh, we're definitely going to take your rook.
Bishop b4 takes knight f8.
And we'll take your other bishop.
Pawn g6 takes knight f5.
There's 9. There's 18, 19. I got 19. He's got 19 points of mine, and I've got 14, 15, and 6, 21 points of that. I'm 2 points ahead. Now let's just castle here.
Bishop f8, g7. Pawn e5 takes pawn d4. Castle is queenside.
No, we didn't do that right. Now that bishop won't come down.
Knight d7, f6.
I don't want that knight coming down.
Rook d8, h8. Knight f6, d5. Bishop g7 takes pawn d4. Bishop d4 takes bishop e3. Knight d5 takes pawn e3.
Black is better, huh? Black's beating me again. It's usually not good. Not good. Yeah, it would love to fork me.
Knight e3, d5. King c8, d7. Rook h8, e8.
Find the refutation.
Pawn e3.
Excellent. Your
Pawn
chance.
E3, E2. King D7, E6.
Uh-oh.
King E6 takes rook F7.
That's how you lose the game.
King F7, G6. Rook E8, H8. King H5, G6. King G6, G7. Rook H8, H5. Rook H5, F5. King G7, F6. King F6, G6. Rook F5 takes pawn H5. King G6, F7. King F7 takes rook E6. Knight D5, C7. King E6, D5. Knight C7, E6. Knight E6, D4. Knight D4, F5. King D5, E5.
It gave it to me.
Knight F5, E7. Knight E7 takes Queen G8. King E5, D5. King D5, D4. King D4, E4.
Don't miss an opportunity.
E4, F5.
You found it. Your
Pawn
chance.
B7, B5.
Your turn to punish this move.
F5, F4.
That was strong.
B5, B4. King F4, E4. King E4, D4. King D4, D5. King D5, E4.
Cruising.
E4, F4. King F4, F3.
Oh, after you.
King F3, G2. King G2, F3. King F3, G4.
We'll go up and get another one.
King G4, F3. King F3, F4. King F4, G4. King G4, F4. King F4, G3. King
Oh,
G3,
ouch.
G4.
You'd be done.
King G4, H5.
Making sure it still has a place to move.
King H5, G5. King G5, H5. King H5, H6.
Checkmate.
Mate.
Yes.